most effective way to warm up for a movement is to do that movement. Now, even if you're not just going to get right under an empty barbell for your squats, you should be doing goblet squats or other similar movements that put you in similar joint positions. You don't necessarily have to mimic the load that you're going to assume within the actual training session, but you should get into similar positions and work on improving your stability and really your positional tolerance in the more challenging segments of that movement. So we're going to show you how to goblet squat effective today, and what we mean by effective is actually trying. One of the things that we see with people often when we have them goblet squat is they kind of grab a light kettlebell, the first one on the rack, and they kind of go up and down. Maybe they do 20 reps and they feel like they are physically warm and they have kind of warmed up, but they haven't done anything to improve their positional integrity. They haven't really learned any motor skills here. So what we're actually going to have Cass do is go as heavy as she can here. Cass is like 100 pounds. We're going to have her use a 50-pound kettlebell for her goblet squats. Now, we don't need to do sets of 20 here, but we're going to absolutely own positions that she is going to be in later in the workout. And this is probably the best way to do it is with a very, very heavy kettlebell. Now, if we were doing this, we would not just bounce up and down. In fact, you probably wouldn't be able to. A lot of times we'll recommend clients do pause squats and really own that bottom position. She's not just hanging out passively here, she's hanging out in an active range of motion. Nice job, Cassie. Then when it comes to everyday mobility work, you don't necessarily have to go that heavy. You can go a lot lighter, and we recommend our clients do bodyweight squats, split squats, and goblet squats on our off days. You don't have to go that heavy, and you should treat that as more exploratory type exercises. You can certainly do this prior to squatting as well, but we would far prefer you to do something that's a little bit more intense, something that's a little bit more intentful, so you can actually transfer those motor skills to the actual pattern that you're trying to get better at. So you don't have to do so many fancy assessments and drills as much as you just need to get into the same pattern and do something that allows you to achieve better positions prior to actually going into your workout. How's that, Cassie?
Good. I'm out of breath.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So positions, again, that's what we're trying to get out of any warm-up or, again, corrective exercise. So if you're doing this, even just for a mobility drill, make sure that you are still keeping in mind what your feet are doing, what your bracing is doing. It's really easy to just drop down into the bottom of a goblet squat and let your lumbar spine shrimp out or round out. So making sure that you're able to get a good break.
I've never heard of shrimp out.
Sorry, it's fresh in my mind.
Yeah,
Thank you, Dr. Snell. You said it a lot, so it was
You
fresh
did
in my
Shrimp
mind.
out.
Thanks.
Because shrimps, you know.
Yeah, I get it. That's funny.
Okay.
Pretend you're a shrimp.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Can't.
Can't. How was that, Cassie?
I like goblet squats for warm-up, for accessory exercise, but even just mobility exercises as well. So I will have clients, if they have tight hips, to try to get into goblet squats every day. Use it as a stretch, but also use it to activate and prime certain positions. Like Brandon said, own those positions. Pay attention to your feet. Pay attention to your spinal positioning. Make sure that you are paying attention to your bracing mechanics. It's really easy to flex into position. Okay, I can't do this because now I immediately thought of shrimps.
There's something good in here. Cassie's going on vacation this week, so she's really trying to round out the week strong.
It's really easy to flex at the very bottom position of your goblet squat, really sinking into it, especially when you start to really think about just your hips and mobilizing those hips. Then you start forgetting about spinal positioning. Don't. Make sure that you're able to maintain good spinal positioning and then just ease your way into whatever capacity your hips allow you to. Shrimp.